Hey, Motorman here. First thing I want to do today is remind you that this coming Saturday at Leesburg Bike Fest, they get like 250,000 people up there. It's 75 miles north of me in Central Florida, and we're going to be performing the Ride Like a Pro show. We're going to be doing 5 shows starting at 10 o'clock in the morning every hour up until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, with that said, let me move on to what this video is actually about. Rumor has it in early May they're coming out with the 2025 Harley-Davidson Icon model. And that Icon model, from the rumors I've heard, and also Mike from Riding in the Ozarks mentioned this as well, it's going to be called, or maybe codenamed, the Gray Ghost. It's going to look just like the 1990 original Fatboy. And I think that's a great thing. A couple of years ago, I did a video talking about what I thought they should do with the Icon models. I happen to really love this one, my 2021. This was the first Icon model, by the way. And they've done a pretty good job, with the exception maybe of the Lowrider ST Icon model. I wasn't crazy about that, but all the rest of them look really nice. I think it's a good idea to make some limited edition models, maybe charge a few bucks more for them, and in the future you might have a collector's item. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And please stay tuned to the end, because at the end I'm going to give you Motorman's tip of the week, and it is a lifesaver. I think you'll enjoy it. So let's go. All right, here it is. This is the 1990 Fatboy, the original model. It came in this color with that yellow trim. Really just a perfectly proportioned motorcycle. Looks great from any angle. And it, you know, the exhaust, I'm not crazy about that, but it was a good-looking motorcycle, and it became their best-selling bike, I think, right after a black version appeared in one of the Terminator movies. So this is what it's going to look like if they stay true to the form. Again, this is just a rumor, but if they're going to do a Fatboy and an Icon model, this is what it should look like. And it's an easy thing to do, because it could be based on the current heritage. Just change the fenders. I think the tank is even the same. Maybe the console could be changed, but it's a very easy motorcycle for Harley-Davidson to make. They don't have to really do any retooling. They should have plenty of these fenders extra left over from other model years. Now, a couple of years ago, I said they should do an Elvis version of the Heritage. And this is, I guess, a pretty famous photo of Elvis on one of the many Harley-Davidsons he bought through the years. But this is about 1956 or so. And then they, I think in 2010 or maybe 2008, Bruce Rossmeyer's Harley-Davidson over in Ormond Beach did, in fact, make a replica of this motorcycle. I don't know if they had to pay royalties to the Elvis estate, but they did a great job duplicating this motorcycle. In fact, here's a photo of that. They made just a limited number, maybe 10 or 12 of them, sold them for well over $20,000, auction one off. But this is about as close as you can get to the 1956 version that Elvis made famous. Now, he had quite a few Harley-Davidsons. I'll show you another one. So it's possible that somebody at Harley-Davidson was watching my videos and took my advice. Now, this is I think this is a Sportster, and notice the paint scheme on it. And let's see what Harley came out with as their Icon model. And in 2024, here it is. It's sort of a combination of the 56 model that you saw Elvis pictured on, and the one that Rossmeyer made a duplicate of. And again, this is just a Heritage with the paint scheme that you saw on the Sportster Elvis had. So hopefully for 2025, this is what they're going to use as the base for the new Icon Fatboy. Hopefully they'll actually come out with this and it's not just a rumor. And now, as promised, my tip of the week. And don't forget, Leesburg, the 26th, this coming Saturday. I'll see you there. So I'm going to set something up, and I'm going to show you the difference between covering the brakes and not covering the brakes. All right, this is what I've got set up here. 2 cones. Very easy, nothing to it. You can use anything you want to set this up. But I'm going to go down the end of the parking lot. I'm going to go down a couple of 100 feet. I'm going to accelerate to 20 miles per hour. When I think my front tire has gotten between these 2 cones, I'll apply both brakes and come to a stop. First, I'll do it covering the brake, and then I'll measure that out. I'll show you the distance, what it is, and then I'll do it without covering the brake so you could see the difference. All right, this was a stop from 20 miles per hour while covering both brakes. we got about 18.7 feet. Now we'll try it without covering the brakes, and again, that's going to be my braking point right there. When I believe my front tire has got to that braking point, I'll then take my hand off the grip, my foot off the floorboard, and begin braking. Okay, that was without covering the brake, and let's see what the difference is. It took 10.6 feet further to stop without covering the brakes. And that's just at 20 miles per hour. This distance here could be a matter of whether you hit the vehicle you were trying to avoid or whether you didn't hit it.